Hi, we're continuing with the stripping of the Mustang, mainly in this area here. So I'm starting off with the bottom part of the bumper. So there's like quite a few bolts here and like all different sizes. I hate when that happens because that's just pretty annoying, having to change a socket. The video just started and we're already having a problem. Let me show you. So that bolt that I'm trying to remove, watch. All it's doing is spinning and there's no way for me to grab this, like hold on to this and then just get this nut out of here. So that bolt is holding a bracket that's attached to the bumper. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off that bracket because I can always buy it. And I thought since I am going to weld and I'm going to be cutting metal, this is probably like one of those opportunities where I can learn. So this will be my first time attempting to cut metal. Luckily it's just a small little piece, so I'll try that there. The good thing is that I checked the other side, the driver's side, and it doesn't have, well, the nut is missing for the bracket, so I don't need to do anything there. I just need to cut here and then I should be good. This is what I'm referring to about the driver's side. So you can see that there's a bracket here, but there's no bolt here. There's no bolt and nut here, so I don't have to worry about removing it or cutting this because it's not attached. This bumper is not attached to this lower part of the bumper. Okay, here goes nothing. So it's definitely cut the metal, but man, this seems to be taking forever. I did it! This is the bracket, so that's the piece that I ended up cutting. This was so much fun, honestly. The only thing is that it took a long time. It took a few minutes. I was expecting it to be faster and I just learned to take it slower because if not, then the blade stops. It is awfully quiet after that. And I usually hear my air coolers, they're like really, really loud, but now I can barely hear them. So that just tells me that I need earplugs next time I do this. Now there's just 3 bolts and these are all the same size. So I like when it's like that. I like when they come off easily like that, no spinning. There's one all the way at the top. So much spider webs. I tried to vacuum here because since I was going to be inside this area a lot, I don't want to get any on me or just crawling on me, but there's always more. I always miss them. It's like they hide and then they come out. So now it's just this last bolt here. Yeah, let me take it out since I'm removing everything. So okay, glad that worked. And here's the piece of that bracket. There's a little light here and I just need to, yeah, that's easy. Just need to disconnect it. I love when it comes off easily. But on this side, there's only these 2 bolts. So once I remove these, it'll just be held up by a center nut here. By the way, not that anyone remembers, but I removed all of the front driver suspension here. I did that before the YouTube video. That's why I was already dirty before working here. The spring compressors just came into today. So I'm like, you know what? Let me tackle that before the video. Now here, there's just 1 bolt. Let's break it. And since this is like the only thing holding it on this side, I'm just going to hold it so it doesn't just come off violently. And then I'll just let it go softly. Okay, so now it's just being held up by the center. This is the last one holding it, so I have to be careful. Oh, it's a weird angle because it's going to fall into my arm. So this is the best way of me catching it. It's off. Luckily, this bracket without a nut here, it kind of got stuck in this area, so it's holding it. Oh, that saved me. If not, then this would have probably just come and hit the floor. It's a weird panel on this side. I need to remove it because then that's blocking the other 2 bolts. I don't know why the other side didn't have it. I don't know if it's missing because there was a lot of things missing. Well, there is a lot of things missing from this Mustang, or it just exists on this side. I don't know, pretty weird. Ooh, so much dirt and rocks, okay. And a lot of spider webs, no surprise. Now back to those same 2 bolts. So I decided to just start from the bottom and then work my way. And then work my way to the top because I figured that would probably be the easiest because I feel like the bottom ones are the most annoying. Just due to accessibility, even though it's on the lift, it still seems like a little bit uncomfortable depending on the angle. So there's 2 bolts under here. These are for the fender. So I'm going to remove them because again, I'm just working my way from the bottom to the top, not in anything in particular. So once I remove these, then the rest are on the top. But before I get to the top, I'll remove the other 2 from the passenger side. There's another one here. I just don't know if I'll have enough clearance with this arm, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, because the bolt isn't that long, so I should have enough. I did, yes. Okay, so those 2 are off. I think that's pretty much it for the bottom, so let's go to the passenger side. These are the bolts for the passenger side. Need to break them first. So dirty here. Spider webs from every angle in this car. Took longer than needed, but both of them are out now. Now we can move to the top. I don't know if there's anything under the center piece. I'm thinking maybe there might be some bolts holding the side fenders. I don't know, but it doesn't hurt removing it. So it has quite a few screws. These screws are like a hit and miss. Some of them are easy to remove. Some of them aren't. But since this one is being a problematic one too, so I'm just doing it manually because I don't want to strip a screw and then that'll just turn into like a whole other video trying to remove that. The one in the center. Okay, so I think all the ones on this side are off. Let's move to the other side. I don't know if this will come off easily or if I'll have to pry it out. Nope, at least from this side. Okay, yeah, easy peasy. Whew. So there are no bolts for the side fenders, but this is what it looks like underneath that panel. Just a whole bunch. Wow, that's hard. I can't even touch that. Whole bunch of leaves and twigs. It pretty much just looks like how the crankcase looked. I'm kidding, but this is a lot more. There's a lot of bolts on the top for the side fender. I'll leave this one in here a little bit more just so it can hold it. I don't know if it's going to fall once I remove all of these other bolts. I think these are the only bolts holding it. If not, then it would be something here towards the front. Okay, it definitely feels loose from the bottom. So maybe I have to pry it from the front. I mean, from the top. You know what? No, I just remembered. There's actually one more bolt here in the door jamb. Obviously, I got too ahead of myself, too excited. This is the one. I don't know why I forgot. Yeah, see, so that loosened it up quite a bit. I think that's it. Other than this bolt holding it towards the front, and I believe that should be it. So let me just have my leg here, even though I don't think it'll completely fall off. No, it's still on there. And then I can maneuver this side fender. Yep, it's definitely loose from this side. So if I kind of pull upward, but having an issue here on top, and this is the same thing that I had with the Camaro when removing the side fenders. I feel like I have to pry this out because it's just not coming out. And there's no bolts here, so yeah, I definitely need to pry it off. The middle is off, now the front. Maybe there is, let me double check because only this area is not wanting to come off. So indeed, there is another bolt that's preventing it from coming out, and it's all the way up there. So I just couldn't see it because when the car was raised, it's just so much higher than me. So now that it's lowered and it wasn't coming off, I'm like, let me go check, and it's right there. So that means I need to check the other side too to see if there's a bolt there as well. The reason I say that is because with this Mustang, it might be there or it might be missing. Oh. Sometimes I have a few words for this Mustang. Anyway, that was unnecessarily hard to get that bolt. Where's my little pry bar? So let's remove this from the rear. The center's off. And I know damn well there's no other bolt here. But what's the problem now? I feel like there has to be something else because it is like there's a gap here and it wasn't there before removing that bolt, but I feel like it's something towards this area. And of course, there were two bolts, so it makes sense. It was in this area here that it just wouldn't come off, so there were two. So there's just one here that's holding the bumper. Once I remove that, then it'll come off easily. And then there was one all the way at the bottom there. Of course, I didn't know. I thought I was already done with removing all of the bolts, but I just didn't know. Now I know, and this side will come off much easier and faster. Okay, it's almost there. It just has a little metal casing for a light on this side of the bumper, so that's what's getting stuck there. Okay, all right, okay, I think it's out. It's stuck on here, no. Oh, I forgot connection here. Let me just set it. And this is how easy this connection is going to be removed, because I'm going to run everything again. So just cutting this, and now this side fender should come off. Okay. What is it stuck on now? Okay. Okay. It's off. I have no space to move. Now to the driver's side fender. I removed already all of the harder to access bolts, just to make it a little bit easier. You know, I'll just remove those completely, since I know that it's not going to fall off. So I'm just going to remove all of these top bolts, and then that one in the door jamb. I already got these two. Wow, whew, that one was hard to break. I already removed these two bolts here, and then that annoying one all the way deep in there, disconnected the light. So we are set to go. Once I remove these top bolts, the center door jamb, pry it off. The last one is off for real this time. Okay. Let's just prying this off the same way. Let me make sure that this bottom part is off so it doesn't get stuck, because I feel like that was also happening over there on the other side. And then, okay, this one might seem a little bit better to remove. So this is off. Let's see if I can just get this in one shot. Almost. Yeah, there's nothing connected to it. Just light. Okay, that was much better. There's that little metal casing that I'm talking about. I'm guessing this whole piece comes off together. Well, I'm guessing and I'm hoping, because it just seems like it's not connected to anything else and it's together. There's just like a few bolts, I think like 5 bolts. The only thing is that once I get those off, I will have to disconnect the lights, just because I really can't get to it right here. That's out. Moving on to the other 2 bolts here. Need to break them. One down. Okay, moving on to the other side. I don't know once I remove this last bolt if it's going to fall, but it is being supported by the bumper, so I don't really think so. Either way, I'm here to just catch it. No, didn't fall. Either way, I have to disconnect those lights too. Well, in the process of removing this, the grill broke. It was on there with like a whole bunch of like just bolts and screws, and I know it didn't come like that from factory, so it was bound to break. Every single time I would touch it, I'm like, you know, this seems very fragile. But I mean, I'm replacing a whole bunch of parts on the Mustang, so what's one more thing, right? So I think this should be pretty easy, but it does seem like a little flimsy. Most of the weight is on the edges, so I'm just like, I really hope this doesn't end up breaking too. It feels heavy and uneven lifting it up like this. Let me hold it by these brackets. I feel like this is definitely like a two-person job, but I got it off. So now we're just missing this. I'm so happy we're almost done. Never mind, I'm not going to tackle this today. Some of those bolts have quite a bit of rust, so I'm just going to leave them soaking overnight. Plus, I am a little bit tired from doing that suspension before this YouTube video, so I'll just tackle this on tomorrow along with other parts. The next Mustang video is going to be a messy and nasty one. So I'll see you guys then. Bye!